In terms of learning, I give it a significant. Why? Because I significantly learned that apparently I wasn't learning from these references I did before. It took me 3 years to finish this sketchbook, and today we're flipping through it together. But instead of just showing you the pages, I'm rating the drawings in 2 categories. First up, execution. How well is the subject drawn on a scale of 1 to 10? And 2, lesson learned. Was it minor, significant, or a standout? The best drawings in this sketchbook aren't always the most significant. Let's find out. Oh, as you can see, it's a chunky fella, so we won't be rating every single drawing. Let's go. So I just wanted to start out by showing you what I think a standout drawing looks like, or a standout rating. Essentially, I was able to grasp one really big key concept. So what's the concept here? Essentially, it's using line weight to indicate distance. So the closer the object is to you, the thicker the line, and as it goes further back in space, the thinner the line becomes. I know, simple, right? But for someone who's really just been thinking in outlines, like that concept really blew me away. And I learned it in my Proco Fundamentals course. This is actually an assignment where we had to study just that. So the rhino was actually the thing I had to draw, and I just added this little baby rhino for a touch of flavor. So yeah, that's standout. But now it comes to execution. What would I rate it? I would say this is about a 6 out of 10. There's some things that could be better, like the line work itself. Also, me knowing that this baby rhino actually was supposed to be a little smaller. It's a tad bigger than I originally anticipated. I do have some issues with scale and measuring, which you'll see repeated throughout the sketchbook. But anyway, bam, here's standout. So we can just hop on over to the beginning. So another thing you'll see me do in this sketchbook is I'm not gonna rate every single drawing, but what I will do is collect similar drawings and rate those. Like take for example, these drawings you see right here. These are references from an artist who draws really cool robots. His name is Richard David Wyzensky. On Instagram, he's Dick David Sketches. Please go check him out. This was part of another assignment for Proco where you study the artist, you try to replicate their work as is, trying to figure out how they make lines, what their process is. Essentially give it like a 1-to-1. So you'll see this is this is a study. This was another study. I added the blue. And here's another study. I really like his style. Also, I just love robots in general. I think his robots are so cute. Also, another thing I was trying to practice too is value and better line work. Trying to get better at line work is like my story for this whole sketchbook. But this was also my first set of alcohol markers, and I was trying to learn how to blend, get those cool shading styles that you see on certain drawings. So together, I would give these drawings, I'd say a 9 out of 10 in terms of execution. Now, in terms of lesson learned, I'd say it's minor. you know, again, going 1 to 1. Now this, I would give this a rating of significant. Essentially, this one, this little cute little robot right here, is a robot of my own creation, and it is a culmination of studying these. So that was another part of the assignment. Study the artist and then create an artwork, create some artwork of your own, kind of like based off of the artist. So here's my little robot. His name is Salty. I was inspired by an Inktober word prompt in 2022. You know, we won't go too deep into Inktober. But in terms of execution, I say I would give Salty an 8 out of 10. While I love how Salty turned out, I'll show you some studies. This was like the initial idea, me playing around with some shapes. I have to say though, I actually liked this sketch, the flow of this sketch, better than the final. As you can tell, it's just a little bit more angled this way, and I would have a much more dynamic drawing. Like, I love the energy of this one. So this is kind of what bumped it down for me from potentially, it's not like I'd probably give it a 10. A 10 out of 10 rating would be, I really have to be feeling myself. But I'd say it's probably the step below from a 9. I also loved how I was able to get that idea of transparency, so that was fun. And something's going on there. We won't discuss that. But yeah, quite happy with how that turned out. I've already seen this fella and this guy. This was actually the first drawing I used for my brand new alcohol markers from okay, I won't try. I'll just keep keep swimming. Okay, here's another grouping of what I would call, I'd rate these as minor. Again, just because they're like 1-to-1 references. This is another study by another amazing artist. His name is Len Nicholas. He goes by Toyagogo on IG. I highly recommend you check him out. He's another person that draws fun mechs, robots. He even has a robot course that I need to complete. It's on my to-do list. So we'll keep going. We'll skip these things. Here's another reference. His drawings, I will admit, I did find them more challenging than the previous artist, Wyzensky's drawings, just because his line work is more subtle and it required a lot more control. Honestly, these lines are probably even thicker, probably a little thicker than his original drawings. He just has a really good flow that I have trouble replicating. So I'd say this drawing, just keep swimming. And these drawings, I'll put them together. Rating of minor. I'll say it's minor. And I'll give it a rating of 7 out of 10. Because again, I think still line work could be better, could be cleaner. So, as with the ones before, meet the culmination of my studies, aka my spaceship. So this again was trying to build my own spacecraft, and again trying to use some of those techniques with the thinner lines, incorporating some highlights, some getting more practice in with the color markers, playing around again with the transparency, trying to get in those kind of mechanical type pieces. I mean, could you guess what spaceship, what shape this spaceship was inspired by? Let's see, I'll count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is actually based off my N64 controller. Yep, I said it, N64 controller. I have the system and it still works. Woo! But I also did some more studies for this one. Here, these were spaceships I drew based off a pencil sharpener. Still, it's okay. Still struggling with the line work. Here was the original. I say the original again. Original sketch, it's a little cuter. I don't know what it is about the final drawing losing a little bit of a personality, but it's okay. We live and we learn. We'll just keep swimming. Okay. Here's a drawing. I would give this a significant rating. Yeah, normally I would say, okay, since it's, you know, kind of based off a known reference, it would be in the minor category. But why I bumped this up to significant is because of the pieces, robotic pieces I added to it. So this was me again trying to get a little more mech in there. This one is more detailed, kind of more detailed than I guess what you would say here. I think here, you know, it's easier to kind of get away with stuff under a fictional hood. Here, you know, this is more of an anatomical reference, so I think it's even easier to kind of see if something's not quite right. But I like the fact that I challenged myself to try it with the arms and his cute little robot leg and trying to get the pieces of his spikes and ear. So yeah, I call this, let's call it significant. And 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. I'd say it's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. I like what I was I like where I was going there. So we'll just keep swimming. Keep going. Yeah, we don't. We try not to talk about Inktober. I feel like I'm scarred by the pressure of Inktober. Again, it always starts off. I always start off with enthusiasm, and then let's see. I was done by day 9. Yeah. Some ink practice, and then here again, and you'll see this is part of the reason why this sketchbook took 3 years to make. We go from 2023 to April of 2024. It's some months there where this sketchbook was neglected, and then we jumped to October of 2024. Again, October, this is a study, and then bam, 2025. What was I doing? You know, things. No, I mean, I was working from another sketchbook, so. Here we're about to enter my face era, at least for this sketchbook. Tell issues with the eyes. It's a little lopsided. We're just gonna keep swimming. Oh, okay. Here's one I'd like to talk about. This is my pink girl. I found this really fun reference off Pinterest, and I like how it turned out. But in terms of what I learned, this would still fall in the minor category. In terms of execution, I'd give her an 8. What's cool about her is I was actually trying a new technique, or trying a different technique of drawing faces. If you see the ones I have here, oh, poor thing. It's beyond its last leg. You see the ones I have here, my drawings were very outline heavy. Like, I got the color, but then I have these really harsh outlines that I wasn't wasn't necessarily like too happy with. Again, more harsh outlines, and you can see again kind of struggling with the quality of the line. Some lines are really rough. Again, another like harsh outline. So this drawing was actually just the practice of trying to do something a little bit more subtle, so you get a more natural look. Now, let's see, I'll give this an 8 out of 10 simply because there are, again, some common recurring themes. This face, it's hard to tell actually with this one, but again, this face is a little bit too narrow. And the hair needs some help. That's another thing I am constantly working on, trying to get right throughout the sketchbook, is better ways to render hair. And then the teeth, and this is something I'll discover later on, is that with drawing teeth, the less lines, the better. When you outline every single tooth, the drawing goes from being, I'd say, more natural to more cartoony. So that's what happened here. So I think she really would have benefited with a little bit less outlines. But overall, happy with the drawing. So as we're just gonna keep swimming, keep going. Another drawing where the face is, again, rather thin. More drawings, more studies, more faces, more really thin faces. This one, again, too thin, had to try it again. Not sure the second attempt was much better, but again, faces. Again, heavy outlines. This one I actually don't mind. More faces, again, more outlines, more faces. And here actually, this drawing, this one I'll label as a standout, because this is when I truly started to understand the concept of you don't have to complete a line for the brain to understand that there's a line. Huh? I know, that sounded weird. But the thing with the other drawings is everything was heavily outlined. Drawings look a lot more natural when you have like these incomplete sections. Like take that eye, take the nose, the mouth. So I feel like this is the drawing where I was like, I get it, okay. But I can't take all the credit for that. I actually learned working through this wonderful workbook by one of my favorite artists. Her name is Gabriella Nico. On Instagram, she's known as Doodle Traffic. But she compiled this very helpful guide of common mistakes. And you'll see here, mistake number 5, regular closed contours. If you want your drawing to feel more natural, try using open contours. In real life, light often softens or blurs the edges of objects. You can suggest this by breaking the line in places where contrast is low and letting the viewer's brain fill in the rest. So, she has examples. So, thank you, Gabriella. Again, that's just one of many tips and tricks. Highly recommend checking her out. By the way, any of the artists I reference, I'll have links to their Instagram or their site below. So we're gonna just keep on swimming. Oh, did I give this a rating? I said, let's see. So she's a standout. Bam, work it. But I'll give her 7 out of 10 for execution. Yeah, I think that's fair. Line work of the hair, again, struggle with the hair. I got some new markers though that I were experimenting with, but overall I think it's okay. So we're just gonna keep swimming. This one, actually, I read One of my favorite series that I read last year was the Bloodsworn series by John Gwynne that has Vikings, but I couldn't really find a reference of a Viking I liked. I don't know if this is quite, I guess this is an orc. I don't quite consider it orc, but I love the energy of this particular character. I was just so inspired by the book that I was like, I want to draw something like one of those characters. Not quite what they look like, but love the energy. Anyway, moving on. Just gonna keep swarming. So here we can reach another collection of drawings. So these again, more one-to-one references, and also me trying to practice my line work, getting in different values with colors, trying some hatching. But you'll see from here, reference Evan Melmanson, Tom Lorek, some drawing from Pinterest. This is a reference from Esti Pikal, reference from Loish. Again, I'm combining all of these together. Reference from Dave Milan. I really love how he draws faces. Another Dave Milan reference. So together, rating of, minor. Bam, minor, woo. But execution, honestly, I think I did pretty well. So I give my execution a 9 out of 10. Now, let's talk about this drawing. This drawing, the execution here is 4. We're gonna call this, honestly, 4 is a little generous for this one. But I will say, in terms of learning, I give it a significant. Why? Because I significantly learned that apparently I wasn't learning from these references I did before. This is a hot mess. You know, I thought I was getting it. This shows that I was not getting it. There's like a method to the madness of these strokes, you know, where some look like wild, but they have a flow to them. These just look wild and messy and uncontrolled, and yeah, you get the point. We tried. It's like everything is out of control in like the worst way. But for once, I don't think I made the face too narrow, so that's a plus. So moving on, more references. Another reference from Dave Milan. Another reference from Esti Pikal. And then this one is a vast improvement. It's like, oh, I'm learning a little bit now. Got some more control going on there. So, okay, getting a little better. The eyes need some work, still a little heavy on certain things, but you know, we're on a journey, guys. We're on a journey. So let's talk about my blue salamander friend here. He or she, you know what? Who am I to tell? I don't know. We'll go with he. He was a break. He was a much needed break. As you can tell, been drawing faces upon faces upon faces. So I wanted to draw something else. And I actually, this is where I used my handy dandy art dice. And I think I rolled reptile, blue, and acrylic markers, or acrylic paint, which is perfect because I just bought some Artix acrylic paint markers and wanted to know how to use them. So this is why this one, my little blue salamander guy here, gets a significant rating, because I got to try like some new materials. and try some new techniques. So there's some like new to me thing here. And one of the biggest differences from acrylic paint and the alcohol markers that I used to is the layering. I wasn't used to that. I like the blend. I love the mixing of the colors of the alcohol markers. So this was very, everything was a lot more planned and thought out than I'm used to. And honestly, I should do this more often. The color swatches, it helps so much in trying to figure out which part goes where. Also, I love the orange or like the bright neon color of it all. It's very vibrant, kind of really stands out on the page. So this one I'm quite happy with. So I would say, along with the significant rating, I would give this a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I'm feeling 9 out of 10 vibes for this one. So let's move on. Let's keep going. This is another Pinterest from reference. Reference from Pinterest. Again, face too thin. How many times can I make the same mistake? Another reference from Pinterest. Oh, okay. This actually is what I would consider a standout. Ding, 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 ding. We got another standout, folks. But what makes it a standout? This was not only, I did have a reference, but I didn't draw from the reference one-to-one. I actually used a reference to create my own character. And what stood out for me is this time I actually tried to add some more context, or essentially to like tell a little bit more of a story. The original, which I'll put up on the screen, was a girl holding a knife, holding the sword outward. She looked scared, or like off put by the sword, but you didn't really know why. So I decided, well, what if I add a little touch of, oh, this sword is on fire. Like maybe this sword suddenly like caught on fire and caught my character off guard. So that for me was the start of me really trying to think about adding more context and story into my drawings. This is a standout, but let's talk about execution, y'all. I give it a whopping 5 out of 10. Why? Just look at her. Her body, what's anatomy really? I mean, her body, her legs, everything's like weirdly drawn. This leg may or may not be broken. I don't know. The clothing, could use some work, line work. I think I tried to start a hatch there and got scared and stopped because I was like, clearly nope, it's not happening. So standout drawing, execution could be better. We'll just keep on going. Oh, this page, I'm particularly fond of because these are references from another great artist. His name is Rembert Montalve. But I actually got to meet him. So I have his book, and he's another one I study from. So all of these are references from his book. And it just so happened that he was at Lightbox last year, and I didn't have his book to sign, but I did have my sketchbook. So I went up and I was like, hey, love your work. Would you mind signing my sketchbook with your copy of your work? Honestly, he was really cool about it. He was really nice. Didn't mind answering questions, and it was great to get a chance to talk to him. He is another just phenomenally talented artist, and he's working on another sketchbook, and I can't wait to buy it when it comes out. So yeah, I got to meet him, and he signed my page. So yay! This one, my zombie queen. If you want to know more about her and her existence, she's actually a part of an ongoing series. Video in the corner or somewhere on the screen, click it. Also, link will be below. We're just gonna keep going. just keep going and 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 keep going. Yeah, keep going and keep going. So this was actually something I wanted to try to conserve paper. Because when you use alcohol markers, you know, they bleed through unless you have a marker pad. So I thought, you know, if I go over the bleed with an acrylic marker, you know, maybe I could make double duty out of a page that otherwise would be lost. It actually turned out pretty good here, but not so much on other pages. So, you know, it's a special set of circumstances. But we're just keep going. Another awesome artist reference, Patrick Ganaz. Just keep going, just keep going. There's another reference. And here, we'll stop here to rate this. My bug slash snake slash scorpion slash robot. I would give this a significant rating because, again, this is a combo. This is me creating something on my own with a combo of the skills I've been learning before and like references from before. I started off with referencing a bug and it turned into this like cobra scorpion thing. But I will say, I'd probably rate this, let's say a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I think, again, you can see struggling with some of the line work. Some lines are loose and others you could tell kind of work some lines to death. But I did like what I was trying with the acrylic markers, where instead of everything being so structured, I have some more like free flowing, like randomly placed marks to help show value and age. So I think this creature is probably worth a revisit, redraw, probably in a different position where we see what it looks like on all fours with tail up. I think that could be interesting and also more dynamic. It's just very straight on here. The got some kind of movement with the tendrils of the tail, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement on this one. And ladies and gentlemen, we're getting closer to the end. Here's another drawing. If you want to know the deets, this is another result of my art dice and artist block. Full movie full movie here. Welcome to Universal. No, full video is here in the corner where I talk about artist block and art dice, and I show the steps of creating this fun dude. So yeah, check that out. So many videos for you to check out, and I appreciate you looking at every single one of them. Thank you in advance. And here's another. Tried to do kind of like a full 2-page spread here. Another reference from Loish. Another awesome artist, also recommend. She has several sketchbooks actually. And La pièce de résistance. Okay, I'm not sure if that was the right terminology, but the last drawing in our sketchbook. If you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching. You saw a trend emerge. The drawings with the highest execution rating didn't necessarily give me those standout or aha moments. Not to say I didn't learn anything from them though. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. What would your ratings be? Or what's a standout principle you learned that improved the way you draw? And as always, remember, it's never too late to create unless you're dead.